Hey everybody, it's Angela and I am back with another process video. And for this layout, I'm going to be scrapbooking about some photographs I took of insects in our garden this spring at the farm. And I wanted to do something a little different. I wanted to go ahead and do some of my own drawing on the layout. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of do almost like a loose doodle of grasses and plants here that I can kind of put some flowers in and put the photographs of the insects down. So you can see here I'm just going on a piece of smooth white cardstock with a pencil, and I'm totally just making this up. Mostly they're grasses. This one here I'm doing is more of a kind of a free form, almost a violet shaped, and you'll see it here better in a second. I'm going to go back over it with pen. At first I think about using my Smashbook pen, but it's not like waterproof and smear proof, so I go with this precision pen. And I'm just loosely following the graphite drawing that I did, and I'm adding a few little details like these little lines here, some veining and stuff like that, just to give a little bit more interest, but I'm not doing it too realistic. It is kind of a stylized version of plants. And my actual insect photographs are going to go in a strip kind of to the left of center. They're going to go from the top all the way to the bottom. So I'm leaving that space open there for the block of photographs. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw this in black, but I am going to color it a little bit with some Prismacolor colored pencils, just in some green. So there's not going to be a lot of color in this portion, but I'm going to use some colored cardstock and my punches to make a whole bunch of flowers to go in this, and I'm going to do almost like a loose rainbow layout with this. So you'll see that coming into play here in just a few minutes. But again, I'm just adding a few extra little details to my drawing and making it almost, as you would see, like an illustration in a child's storybook or something like that. And here I am with the Prismacolor pencil. At first I do it really light in just 2 colors of green. Later I do go back because my rainbow of flowers is pretty intense, so I felt that the green needed to be a little more intense, so I do later go back and fill the green in just a little bit more than I am doing here. But this is where I start, so I'm liking that. And then the photographs that I had, I took 3 photographs of each insect, and I decided on this I was only going to use 2 of each insect. So I'm going to cut it down, and then the third picture I'll probably use in one of my junk journals and do some more journaling and stuff about it. So the photos won't go to waste, but I'm not going to use them here. And then I just play with the positioning and make sure that some of the things that are on gravel are interspersed with pictures of insects that are on greenery, and just kind of mix the colors up in those photo blocks. So I'm liking that, but I am covering up these 2 leaves and I really wanted them to show, so I'm just kind of marking where my photo block goes, and then I'm going to take a craft knife and just cut out these leaves so that I can pull them up and over the photograph so that you can still see them. And it'll make more sense here in just a minute. But I'm just going around really carefully around the edge of these leaves to where I had marked it. And then you can see I can slip my photos under it. But when I did this, I realized that it was going to cover up that one bug there. So I do have to rearrange my insects to make sure that I have ones placed there that won't be covered up by those leaves. So I'm just cutting a few of them down, and then I'll just rearrange them so that I think I use these asparagus beetles here so that they don't get covered up by those leaves and you can still see everything in the photographs. And I just use a little piece of washi tape on the back to kind of hold that together until I can get it glued down. So I'm liking that, and again I'm just changing the colors up. And so that is going to be how my insects are. So I go ahead and I glue that down So everything's adhered at this point. And then I have this book that it's a sample swatch book that a signage company didn't want anymore, and so they gave it to me, and I love how it's already got all the rainbow arranged for me already. So I used it for a previous layout here a couple videos ago, and this time I'm using it again with just some of my punches. So I pulled out a bunch of flower punches and butterflies and in small profiles, and I'm just going to go through all the different colors and punch out a little bit of each of them. And kind of keep them in order here on my page as I go through. You can see I'm using some really old ones. Some of these are Martha Stewart, some of them are McGill, some of them I got are generic ones from like Oriental Trading and stuff I've had for, you know, a decade or more. So it was fun to be able to pull out those punches and use them again. So here are what I've got punched out, and I'm going to go from yellow, I'm going to keep it kind of in the order it was in that book, you know, into my oranges, then into pinks and purples and blues, and just kind of go across this drawn area. So I'm making kind of a band of it right through the middle of my layout. And I'm kind of loosely seeing how these colors are going to work. And then I like having punched some of the butterflies because that allows me to pull some of those colors up farther on the page by putting the butterflies up higher. So that's pretty much my how it's going to be, and I think I've already glued them down at this point. And then I went into my alphabet thickers here, and I pulled out a nice black font that has kind of a cursive feel to it. And I'm just going to use the word nature, and then I'm going to handwrite above that colors of nature, because some of these insects, they were so beautiful. Some of the beetles were in a bright metallic blue, then reds and greens and oranges. It's just amazing the different colors that these insects had. So there I wrote in pencil colors of, and then I'm going to use that same precision pen to go back over it and write, because I thought that would help tie it in with the illustrations I had already done. And then I went and I pulled out a whole bunch of bling. So instead of using enamel dots on this, I'm going to use all these little rhinestones. And I find rhinestones in all the different colors. And I'm just going to use either the rhinestones, or I had some flat back pearls like these ones here. And I'm just going to put something in the center of every flower and every butterfly. And then I also found this old recollections, kind of these swirly strips that, remember how popular these used to be? And no one really uses them anymore, but I liked that they were kind of shaped like the drawings I had done, and they're in kind of a gray that matches with the penmanship that I'd already done on there. So I'm just going to go ahead and intersperse those in with my drawing and just bring a little bit more dimension and texture to that area. So I go ahead, I put some of them on the left, some of them on the right, and then I did my journaling down there on the bottom right of my photo strip. And then I'm putting a few of these sprinkles in green, and this is a Tattered Angels, I think it was called Green Meadow ink. And then I'm going to go ahead and dab up any extra that I had on there. And then that is my completed layout, and I really love how it turned out, all the bright colors, and I had fun doing the drawing on there and playing with all the rainbow cardstock. And there you can see how I stacked some of the flowers and used the same colors of rhinestones in blues, different shades of blue and green. And then some of the photos of all the different insects that I've taken this spring. And yeah, so I really loved how this turned out. I love when I, get a chance to do some drawing on a layout and, use some free materials. I got, some free swatch books that I had, and then some of my old punches. And I just had a really fun time with this one. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions or anything on any of this, just leave them down below. And I will see you guys in the next video. Talk to you later. Bye.